Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you, man. Sunday night, late night, man. I'm just getting back off the road, man. I had to go out of town for a funeral, So I had to take a few days off, from everything as far as my workout regimen and stuff to the people that follow me, on my other channels and whatnot. But I'm back on it first thing in the morning. Before I even start the video, I'm going to talk about the salary and whatnot, the truth about the salary working in corrections as a correction officer. But before I start this video, as I mentioned, I was out of town for a funeral, and I just want to say to cherish life. Take every day seriously. Don't ever take anything in life for granted, Every day, make every day count, because you don't know when the good Lord is going to call you home. I had to go out of town, like I said, for a funeral for a great man. He met his demise at an untimely time. I believe, I can't remember, he was around 40 something years old, maybe 50. Great man, touched a lot of lives. I never met him. I was just there for moral support for somebody that asked me to attend the funeral with them, to be there for them, But like I said, take this life shit serious, because you don't know when the good Lord's going to call you home. Cherish every day. Cherish your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Hug them tight every night, because we could be here 1 minute and go on the next. That's why that gave me a whole new perspective on life, going to that funeral. I hate going to funerals, but it's a part of life. The older you get, the more people that we're going to lose along the way. Unfortunately, it is what it is. That's a part of life too, but it gave me a whole new perspective. I came back recharged, motivated. I got a lot to live for, and I got a lot to be thankful for. And every day that the Lord wake me up, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm going to take full advantage of it, But getting right into the video, though, I'm talking about the truth about correctional officer salaries. I get a lot of questions, on all my videos I've been posting here lately on the correctional officers, the hiring process, what it's like working inside. One of the big questions I get is, what's the salary like? What can I expect to make? How much are y'all making over there? People want to know these type of things. I'm not the type to hold anything back. I try to be, all the way authentic. I'm an open book. You can ask me any type of question related to the job. I tell people all the time, if you want me to do a video on a certain topic, drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll make sure I write it down in my handy dandy notebook. I got thousands of topics. I'm always brainstorming, trying to help people out. I got so many different topics that I'm going to be talking about here in the upcoming days, upcoming months, weeks. I'm coming with it, man, whatever you want to know, man. But yeah, the thing I want people to know about the salary as far as working in corrections, it varies by state. You know what I'm saying? People always ask me, how much am I going to make? It depends on the agency you're working for. Whether it's state, county, or federal. And it depends on, like I said, what state you're in. But we can say this, the average salary, we're going to say 2024 for a correctional officer starting out, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's around low 40s to, depending on if you're in a high cost of living area, maybe mid 55. When I say low 40s, like 40,000 to about 55,000. That's the starting salary, And I feel like it's come a long way over the years, because I recall back when I first started in corrections, it was back in 2010. I was 20 years old. I was living in West Virginia. I was finishing up my degree in criminal justice. I'm living in West Virginia. One of my professors recommended me, because I didn't know what I wanted to do in my career, So he was like, why don't you go work at the county jail? So I was like, okay, cool. I went and I applied for the county jail. My starting salary back then was only it was a correctional officer too. That's what they hired me on. That's if you had college experience. So my starting salary back then was only 23,000 and some change, But this is the thing. This is the good part about it, Don't get tripped up when you see the salary. It's like it only says starting salary is only 45,000. 40,000 what the salary is. You may be making 38,000 coming in. Don't get tripped up over that, man, because they're not factoring in all the extra shifts, the overtime availability, having to work weekends and holidays. You get paid more on the hour, And I'm just being realistic with y'all. The state of corrections in this day and age, most jails and prisons nationwide are short-staffed. We've lost a lot of officers over the years due to retirement and things along that nature. So we're short-staffed, and there's constant overtime shifts at majority of these jails and these prisons. Even back then, 2010, you know, I was only making $23,000 a year, which was good for me because I'm still a college student. You know, I think when I started my job at the jail, I was still living on campus. You know, I was like finishing up my last couple semesters. So I'm living like a broke college student. So for me to even go from, I was working a part-time job at the casino to getting into my field, working at the jail, my salary, you know, and my how much money I was making was even good then. And there was so much overtime back then that I doubled my salary back then. I was, like I said, my base salary was $23,000 and some change. This is for South Central Regional Jail in West Virginia. Y'all can look this up. West Virginia Regional Jail Authority. The salary may have gone up. I'm pretty sure it's gone up over the years, you know. But like I said, I made $23,000 and some change. But by the end of the year, I only was there 2 years. But that first year, I made like almost $43,000. So I damn near doubled my salary. And then when I got on with the feds, my money jumped like boom. I took off like a rocket. You know, I went from where I was at to my base pay at the feds when I was at my last federal prison in West Virginia. I started off like, I think it was $43,000 a year. So I doubled my salary just getting on with the feds. But like I said, there's so much overtime. You get paid more when you work certain shifts. If you work overnight, if you work the weekends, a lot of agencies, they pay you more dollars on the hour. So even in my first year at the feds, my base was $43,000. I think that first year I cleared about $65,000 and some change. Then it got even better. Excuse me. My second year, when I was at my last federal prison, I kind of ramped up with my overtime because I knew I was trying to transfer and I wanted to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? So that second year, I ramped up with my overtime, and I think I cleared around $77,000. You know, but it gets even better. It gets even better. I'm not bullshitting y'all, man. This is how it went down for me. So boom, I put my transfer in, right? And I put in for 3 different prisons. I put in for the federal prison in Morgantown, West Virginia, Hazleton, USP. I put in for Lexington, Kentucky, and I put in for Butner down here in North Carolina. Long story short, I got picked up in Butner. So boom, my transfer went through. I came down here. You know, I was house hunting. I found me a house. I bought a house. I had been grinding that whole year, the year before my transfer went through. So I had a nice amount of money stacked up to put down a down payment on a house. So boom, I get down here to North Carolina at Butner, right? And I had already knew about this. I already knew what was going on, right? So there was an officer already down here. He wasn't at my last prison. He was at Beckley FCI. And I worked at McDowell FCI. But a lot of people, you know, that I worked with at McDowell, they started at Beckley and they knew this officer. And he had transferred down to Butner, where I'm at now, like a few years before I came. And there was all these people telling me about, yeah, this is officer down there, man. He's making over 6 figures every year. He's just an officer with overtime, you know. So I already had that in my head, you know, once I got down here. I'm like, okay, I need to see what they talking about, man. I need to see, I'm trying to get on that money train too. See what this paper, all this money that he is talking about. It smell like money. I'm on the trail like a mouse hunting for some cheese. So boom, I get down here. Boom, I hit the ground running. My first year I was down here at Butner. I think I cleared like them $87,000 for the year. Then after that, it was like the sky was the limit. I think I made like $94,000 the next year. Then after that, every year since I've been down here at this prison, I've made over 6 figures every year. I'm talking about 6 figures, $100,000 plus with overtime. Every year I've been down here. I've been down here since 2015, you know. So like I said, the overtime is there if you want it. You know, everybody has different goals and different ambitions, what they're trying to do in their life. You got people that's trying to buy their first house like I was when I first transferred here. You got people trying to put their kids through college. People that's, they may be trying to pay off debt, student loans, car payments, hospital bills. You know, so I tell people this, take advantage of the overtime, you know, because it's there. You know, some of it you're going to get because you're going to get mandated. That's the nature of the beast. You know, when you're short-staffed, sometimes you're going to get mandated. And it's just because there has to be a certain amount of staff at the prison or jail you work at in order for the shift to run safely and the institution to run smoothly. You know, it just is what it is. They're going to tell you that when you go through the hiring process. You know, can you work beyond your regular shift if need be? Can you work beyond 8 hours? A 12-hour shift, 16-hour shift. You know, if you can't do it, then they're not going to hire you. It just is what it is. You know, you have to know what you're going into when you sign up and you put in the application for the job. You know, just last year alone, 2023, my base pay was $72,000. I made $158,000. You know, that's damn near a little more than doubled my salary, man. Just grinding, getting after the money, man. They got it, man. Taking the overtime. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the pay, it depends on the area that you're at. Some states and agencies, they may start you off a little lower. You know, say you live in a low cost of living area like West Virginia or Kentucky, you know, versus somewhere like California, New York, LA. Then they're going to start you off probably lower, you know, just because the cost of living is a little higher in those places. So instead of them starting you off at like $35,000 out there, they may start you off $55,000, $60,000. You know, it's just because they have to compensate for how costly it is to live in those areas. You know, just because somewhere starts you off lower, you know, on a lower pay scale than somewhere else, that doesn't mean that you're any less of an officer than the officers that's working at those prisons. You know, I would never look down on anybody or, you know, oh, I make more than this officer at this prison. I'm better than them. Nothing like that. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We all doing the same thing. You know, prison's going to be prison. Jail's going to be jail. You know, we in there day in and day out. We're outnumbered. We're overworked. We're looking over some of the toughest criminals in the world. You know, we dealing with some of the people, you know, that's in there for robbery, murder, homicide. They're not coming home. Leading violent organizations, leading violent drug criminal organizations. We're not dealing with the best of society. You know, to go in there and do that on a daily basis, you in a housing unit and it's just one officer, just you and 100 thugs, it takes a special person, you know. So I would never look down on nobody, you know, or I wouldn't even think for 1 second that just because they're doing the same exact job as me, but they're making less money, that they're any less of an officer, you know, because they're doing the same thing, you know. Even when I was at the county jail, I made less money. I felt like I got some great training there. The academy that I went through, it was 6 weeks long. It was like the military, like the boot camp. You know, you had to wake up every day, 5 a.m. We had to do PT. You know, then by 8 a.m. we had to be standing, you know, at attention with your uniform on. Your shirt line had to be lined up with your belt. Your boots shined up. You had to be clean shaven. All of that. I feel like I learned some great correctional officer training when I went through the West Virginia Regional Jail Authority Training Academy. You know, we just learned good stuff that I've taken with me in my career, like a good pat search, how to pat search an inmate. You know, things like when you're escorting inmates up the hallway, always stay behind the inmates. Never let the inmates walk behind you. Things like that. Always checking doors, you know, checking locks, padlocks, making sure everything is secure. Stuff like that, man. I feel like I got some great training there. You know what I'm saying? But even like with the lower salary, you know, even if you're living in somewhere and the cost of living is high and you feel like the salary may not mesh up with what you're going to be doing, I feel like as long as you're good with your money and you budget your money good, you're going to do good regardless of whatever agency you go to. See, me, I'm good with money. You know, I've made some videos in the past, you know, talking about how to budget your money, you know, talking about when you're a new officer, a recruit, a rookie coming in out the door, try to put as much money as you can into your retirement account and don't touch it for no reason. Unless you're trying to buy a house and you may need to use that money or something like that, or it's an emergency. Otherwise, put it up as high as you can. I put 20% in my retirement account and I bump it up gradually, you know, as I get pay raises, stuff like that. You know, I'm at the point where I'm trying to max out my retirement account, you know, put the max in there every year. I invest money on the outside, not just in my retirement account. I buy stocks and crypto with money from my check. I put that in my personal account. You know, I try not to go over my debt limit. I keep all my credit cards paid off. I don't have any card payments, both cards paid off. So I send in extra payments on my house payment. I keep a monthly budget too, man. This is good too. I talked about this in one of my other videos. This is all my expenses for every time I get paid. I do one of these spreadsheets. It has all my expenses, all my bills, everything wrote down, so I know where my money's going. You know, that's an important thing. This is it. This is outside of correction. This is for any job. You have to know where your money is going if you want to be good with money. You know, you have to have a budget. You have to know how to save. You have to know how to put money away. You have to think, if you're going to come into this line of work, being a correctional officer, the type of retirement that you're granted, you know, you get to retire earlier than the average person. You know, most people in correctional officer settings, you could do 25 or 30 years and you could retire. A lot of people are starting young as correctional officer. We're talking about people that's coming out of high school, 18 years old, going right to work at the jail or the prison, wherever they at, and they're staying there the whole career. You do, let's say 18, you do 30 years, 18, 28, 38, that's 48 years old. You're way younger than the average person retired. The average retirement age is probably around 65 years old, and it's probably going up and up as the cost of living goes up. So that tells you that you have to be putting more money away. You know, if you're going to be coming in, working all these overtime shifts, these extra shifts, take that money and be smart with it. Don't just blow it on dumb shit. Go out here buying you the most expensive truck you could buy, the biggest house you could find that you can afford. Take as much of that money as you can and save it for a rainy day. Put money away for your kids' retirement or their college fund, you know, so you can have, when your kids get to be age 18, you got money. You can send them off to college if they doing good, doing what they supposed to, stuff like that, man. You put extra money away so when the retirement come around, you don't have to go out and get a second job. You can sit back, collect your pension, get your retirement, man. You got money in the bank because you were smart with your money over the years while you was working in this profession. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff, you know, that I'm trying to convey in these videos, you know. Somebody else had mentioned, would they need a second job because they said where they were working at or where they were trying to apply at, they told me the salary was kind of low. And I was like, you need to call those people and see what the overtime is like. Man, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they have a boatload of overtime. Every institution, 9 times out of 10, they going to have the overtime, man. And I tell people this, ain't no excuse. If you got an institution that got a ton of overtime, ain't no excuse for you to be walking around saying you broke or living paycheck to paycheck. Ain't no damn excuses, man. You know, I have no pity for people at my job, my coworkers. You know, yes, some people may be going through harder times. They may have to care for a sick relative or something, so all their money goes to that. But if you able-bodied and you working up there, man, you complaining about you ain't got no money or you living paycheck to paycheck, that's your own fault, man. Because it's like literally at the prison I'm at, Butner, FCC, the federal prison in North Carolina, you could damn near write your own check. You could work damn near every day if you wanted to. And you could damn near double, triple your salary. That's how much money they are passing out. They're giving this money out like it's candy. And you're not doing, 9 times out of 10, you're not doing anything strenuous. Majority of the time, we're just sitting in there on the housing unit with the inmates, man. Just sit back and observe. Make my rounds, go sit back down. If nothing's out of the ordinary, I go sit back down till it's time to make my other round. How hard can it be? Nothing hard about it. You know, I'm glad I found corrections, man. You know, this is one of the best things in life that's happened to me. You know, I never thought I would be doing anything like this, but here I am 13 years later, 3 different facilities. I'm still going strong. You know, I plan on riding out, you know, till the wheels fall off till it's time for me to retire. And even then, you know, I did the math. I started when I was 23 in the feds. I got to do 25 years. So by the time I'm eligible to retire, I'll be 48 years old. I'll be fairly young. You know, God willing, I'll still be in good health, good shape. I may go do something else like fitness related. I may start, you know, online coaching for the gym. You know, I've been working out 21 years. I'm a former college athlete. You know, when I first started my YouTube channel, it was initially about working out, fitness. But then I seen that there was a big interest in corrections, you know, after I did a video. So I said, I got to pivot my channel because people need to know about this. People want to know about this hiring process and what it's like being on the inside, being behind that wall, you know. And now, who better than me? I got 13 years in, right? You know? So that's what I'm going to do. I got to go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? And this is another thing, too, I want to leave y'all with. You know, I see a lot of comments on my videos You know, from the naysayers, the negative people, the haters, they be saying stuff like, oh, you working your whole life away, working all those hours, or why would you recommend corrections to anybody, you know, stuff like that. This is the thing. I don't listen to none of those people because none of those people probably have never stepped a foot in any institution a day in their life. Only shit they know about corrections is probably what they seen on TV, watching Oz or Prison Break, or some shit like that. They ain't working them shifts with me. They not there by my side. You know, while I'm watching these thugs, these inmates, these convicted felons, that at any moment, without hesitation, they can pull that knife out and put it in me. They not there with me, so why would I listen to them? You got to take the advice from somebody that's actually doing this shit. I've been there. I've been to 3 different institutes. I've seen it. When I first started corrections, I seen an inmate hang himself and left me to find him. I've seen inmates get stabbed. I've seen inmate fights, blood everywhere. I've seen some of the craziest shit, you know. I'm there, so I don't listen to them. They ain't got no skin in the game. They're not there with me, so why would I listen to them? They talking about, oh, you working all these hours. This is the thing. I know how to make the job work for me. Y'all, the people that follow me on my social media pages, y'all do what y'all see me doing. On a weekly basis, I'm going out to eat every week, different restaurants, smoking my cigars, going on vacation. I go out the country every year. I take about 4 or 5 vacations every year. My birthday week, every year I go out the country. Last December, I was in Jamaica. I don't even know where I'm going this year. I might go back to Colombia or DR. I'm thinking about going to DR in a couple months in July for just to go for a week. I got a week of vacation. So I'm not burnt out. I'm not working my life away. You know, if this is the thing, at any job that you work that's a 9 to 5, you're trading your time for dollars anyway. It's the same thing. You just go to a business or a restaurant or office. I just happen to go to a prison and do my time. That's all. That's the only difference, man. So I don't listen to none of those negative people, man. I'm doing this video for y'all, the people that's trying to get into corrections. They see how I'm doing. They see how I'm living. I'm transparent. I don't cap. I'm not trying to be nice. I'm not trying to be shit. I'm not. I just do me at the end of the day, man. That's all I do, man. I'm just trying to be the best person I could be, better than what I was yesterday. That's the only reason I'm making these videos, to help y'all. And I've been loving all this feedback I've been getting on these videos. This shit mean a lot to me, man, because I feel like I'm making a difference out here. I'm making a difference in people's lives. I'm helping people to get on and to possibly change their circumstances. Because that's what happened with me. When I got into corrections, I was able to change my circumstances. I remember, man, before I started, I was living in a dump. $375 a month for the rent, living in a dump. Big ass cockroaches running through the hallway. It looked like some shit off of that old abandoned building on Home Alone 2 when Kevin, he was up in New York trying to find his uncle. That's the shit I lived in. When I got into correction, I was able to go from that to living on the nicer side of town. You know, I was able to trade. My first car had like 300,000 miles on it. You know, it used to be puttering, putt. You know, the gear wasn't even shift on the highway. I'm on the highway mad as hell trying to get my car to speed up. It was so fucking old, but that's all I could afford at the time. I paid probably $1,100. It was a 96 Crown Vic. And it had, like I said, 300,000 miles plus on it. That's all I could afford at the time. When I got into corrections, I was able to get rid of that shit and buy me a nicer car. I'm able to send my mom money. You know, she live in Ohio. I'm able to send her money so she could do stuff with it. Here, Mom, this for you. You don't even ask. You don't even got to ask what it's for. It's just because it's out of love. That's why I'm doing these videos, because I want to change people's lives. So I can't listen to them people that's on my page hating, talking bad about this, because they not there. They never stepped foot inside of a correctional institution 9 times out of 10. They don't know what it's like, so I'm not listening to them. That's not who I'm making these videos for. I'm making these videos for the people that's been chiming in, that's been tuning into these videos, you know, that's going through the hiring process. And I'll be loving it when y'all telling me y'all going through the hiring. Oh, I just got my call back. I just got my start date. I'm excited. That's why I do this shit. That shit bring joy to my heart. And I ain't going to stop. They can't stop me. They can't stop me from doing this, man. They can say all they want, man. It's not stopping. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show up tomorrow. As long as God wake me up tomorrow, I'm going to be right here doing these videos, working on these videos, putting this content out for the people that care, the people that matter to me, the people who I'm doing this for. You feel me? Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got the merchandise for sale. Shop with me on my website, www.theghettobodybuilder.com, man. But yeah, man, that's the thing. That's the whole spiel on the salary, man. You're going to make way more than what they saying, what they advertising on the hiring brochure. Just trust me, man. Every year I've worked in corrections, I've made more than what that salary says, no matter what institution I'm at, man. Like I said, all the stuff I just mentioned in this video, take that advice, run with it, man. I got all my videos categorized in one little playlist too on my page now. So I got probably, I don't know how many videos I've made on corrections, just talking about different topics. If y'all want more information, y'all can check them out. I got a whole bunch of videos talking about it. You got any comments, questions, concerns? You got any ideas for future videos y'all may want me to do? Shoot me a message on this video in the comment box, and I'll be sure to write it down in my my notebook. It's filling up. I'm about to have to give me a new notebook in a minute. This shit filling up. Look at this, man. Look. It's filling up. Look, man, I got so many different topics, man. I got stuff coming for y'all, man. We gonna make it together. We gonna win together, man. Like I said, I'm doing this for y'all. Y'all, the people that's interested in taking the job serious, trying to make a difference, trying to go in there and do the best job you can at, no matter what institution or what facility you get on at, trying to bring your family a better life. Y'all's who I'm doing this video for. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.